Hi, fellow traders. Well, it's another hump day in the books. It seemed like it came pretty quick for me. This is just my second trading day of the week. But, more importantly, I'm not making any money. This market really, really sucks. And I haven't really adapted well to it. And that's what I've been working on and looking at. I'm having to adapt to summer trading a lot earlier than I normally would. So, it's a little frustrating. But hey, that's you know, what we expect when we get into this trading game. So I accept it and we're just gonna continue to move forward. Before we get in and start looking at my day, there's something really, really important I want to share with you. We talked about execution. We're starting to get into the execution phase in our roadmap to success. And, a lot of the debate comes, what's important, strategy versus execution. Actually, a lot of people don't even think about execution unless somebody brings it up. It's all about strategy. When I was starting and coming up, what I found was way too many trading education courses, people teaching trading. They're focusing on strategies. They're selling people strategies. Whatever their strategy is, they're selling people on it, saying that you can get an 80% win rate or 90% win rate and all of that. And really, the win rate comes with how well you execute the strategy. So it's not so much the strategy, it's, how you execute. Like I said, a real trading world is just the opposite. The focus is on strategy. Professional traders, the focus isn't on strategy. The focus is on execution. Professional traders focus on executing their strategy. Realistically, the strategy is an ever-changing thing. It constantly evolves. There's not a there's a consistent component to it, but we're implementing our strategy in an ever-changing market. So we have to constantly, change our strategy to meet the market conditions. But once we have that strategy, the big challenge is executing it. And if you can't execute the strategy in the market, you might as well not even have a strategy. But like I said, it's all about who executes it. We both can execute the same strategy on the same trade the same morning. You can do better than me because you executed the trade better than I did for whatever reason. But it's all about, execution. That's where the rubber meets the road. So, there's a debate whether, what's important, strategy versus execution. You got to have a strategy really to execute. So, both are important. But then we start to say, okay, which one is harder to execute? I mean, which one is harder to put into play? Learning and implementing your strategy, is that harder? Or executing your strategy in the open market? Which one is harder? So most of us automatically, because we think learning and implementing seems like it would take longer to get together, and executing your trade just takes, in some cases, minutes. That learning the strategy and implementing it is actually harder, but it's the opposite. Developing the ability to consistently execute your trading plan is more difficult. So placing a focus on execution is going to increase the likelihood that you're going to be a consistently profitable trader. And to give you an example, all right, let's say you're learning the 5-minute opening range breakdown or breakout, And so in this case, I'm teaching you, and I've taught you, I can teach you this strategy in 15 minutes. And you could come in and you say, yeah, here's a 5-minute open range low. This is where I would get in. Here's where my first target would be. My second target will be down here around 24.50. My final target's going to be, around here, 24.25, 24.20, whatever. You're going to easily mark this out. And you show me, and I'm going to look at it, and I was like, hey, A+. You got it. You get in on the break of the low. You have your target strategically placed where you're taking profit, and everything is perfect. Easy, right? But then comes the actual execution. Okay, here's an actual execution on this trade. Things change a little bit because it goes from you marking your points on a dead chart to actually executing this strategy without seeing all of this. You don't know what the hell is going to happen. All you know is you've got to execute. You're going to execute your strategy. And you're dealing with price action. You're dealing with the stock going up and down, sideways, and everything pulling at you. So learning the strategy and implementing it is this. Implementing it is this. Learning it and then implementing it. Putting it out here to demonstrate what you learned. Executing is when it gets here. That's when the rubber meets the road and you're actually taking trades. Okay, so with that said, what do you feel is more important? What's going to determine whether you are successful or not as a trader? Now, you can have a crappy strategy, but if your execution is spot on, you're going to make money. You can have the best strategy and have piss poor execution and you won't make a damn thing. So execution is where the focus is. That's where I put my focus when I'm teaching, and and it goes from there. So hopefully you guys, I hope this kind of illustrated my point a little bit better. So tomorrow, 8:30 in the morning, right back here at YouTube, doing a live stream. I had my weeks off. This is the last one for the month of May. So, I may do one or two next month. My plan is to do a couple a month, but you want to come see how it's done. I teach by actual trades, not by replaying it and showing you the video and talking over it. It's easy at that point. That's implementation. My key is execution. If you see the execution, I think it's going to, get into your head a little bit better. I know for me, it helped me out. It got into my head a little bit better. It stuck. And, I was able to move on from there. So join me tomorrow, 8:30. And hopefully I can teach you a couple things about what I do. All right, so if you recognize this trade, this is the trade that I use for the example. Okay? The piss poor execution that I showed you on that chart was me. That's what happened to me this morning. I got distracted right at the open. Actually got a little upset by the distraction, and it caused me to make some bad decisions. Never should have got in this trade at all. Never should have got in this trade while I was distracted I got in this. I was still on the phone. Got in with too heavy of a size and just got pissed off. If you guys don't know yet, you members, if you go on the website, the home page, there is a link or a picture that says the morning trading session. I don't even know what I called it. If you click on that, that's a recording of the morning session complete with the meltdown. I didn't edit it out because that's a learning experience. Everything about this was a learning experience. So I told you guys, if you weren't in chat when I announced it, I will talk a little bit more about it in the morning when most people are there. But I will be recording the morning session and posting it. Right now, it's only going to be up for 24 hours, and then the next one will post. They won't be, you won't come in Friday and be able to watch Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So if you missed the morning, you got 24 hours really to watch it before it goes away and it gets replaced with that day. So just wanted to let you know that. But you can go back and watch the video. You hear a couple things get destroyed, but it was all my fault. I have to take responsibility for it because, I did it. I made the decision to get in, and then I made the decision to get back in. And it was just crap. But you saw how this stock traded all day. So had I executed this trade properly, this would have been the perfect trade for me. Just what I look for every day. And could have made a couple $100 effortlessly and low stress. But it didn't happen because I let myself become unglued, and that's what happens. So that's what happened on this deal. Ended up, I did make $80 on it, but I should have made $280 on this trade. If I'd have traded it right all day. Just bad decision. So, we got in QCOM. I thought we were getting a good move here, a good sell, and it bounced, ended up stopping me out. Now, I know some of you just looking at this chart, you're going to ask me, well, why did you get out when it was testing the 20, the VWAP? You didn't have to take this off. I did because it hit my max loss stop. I have to respect that, especially now with the market the way it is. I have to respect it. And I said I could always get back in and make my money back if it rejects. And that's exactly what happened. I got back in. First cover, got my money back. It looks like, based on I believe I got my money back. And then second cover and ended up stopping out here. Well, me and my bright self, I shorted here. I think it's rejecting the 20 here. The 50. I'm looking for it to do the same thing right here. So I'm looking for the move back down to this level. I get in it and it blows me up. And now I'm negative on the day. So it's just fitting that I ended up red on the day. I don't know how I made it through the morning green. And, it's just fitting that this thing just took me red. I just had, this isn't piss poor execution. This is actually very good. I give myself good grades on this. But the morning, really, really bad. Really bad. And it's because of the morning I ended up the way I ended up. You know, I thought I was going to have an earnings trade that was going to come out, but it broke, set up the last freaking candle of the day. It broke the setup. So I'm glad it did. You know, that told me that it probably wasn't going to do what I wanted it to do, and it was right. It didn't do what I wanted it to do, so that was that. But that was my trading day. This week is really, really bad. I need Thursday and Friday to be strong in order to, you know, put this week back together. I need Thursday and Friday to be really strong days. But we'll see. Friday is the day before the holiday. I know whatever I get, I'm going to have to get at the open and, you know, work it from there. But, you know, we'll see. All right, one more thing I want to share with you guys. Some of you know I've been working with this guy. I've got one more week of working with him, and he's made remarkable improvement. After the first week of utterly disregarding everything I said, just, you know, it's just crazy. And he has really focused on execution. Okay, and the reason why I'm showing you this is because we talked about execution. This is what we've been focusing on the last week. Last week, he had trades that looked really similar to this. Yesterday and today, really, he's doing really well, being patient and really listening, because he realized not listening, he wasted all that money. That actually he wasted more money paying me than he lost in the market. And, you know, I told him, you want to keep wasting it, that's fine. But finally listen, and execution has been on point. I mean, on point with the strategies that you know, he's trading. The stocks, it's hard because most of these stocks are going to be, they're not going to have shorts, and then they're going to be margin restricted. These, you know, we're finding at least one or two stocks a day, and I'm putting them on the watch list in chat. You know, the under $20 stocks that give fairly decent moves. So he got in this right before 9:35. This is, you know, something that we're working on together. So, you know, perfect entry on what we were doing at 6:44, and his last cover was 5:42 for 1 point. Here's a $6 stock. It gave him a 1 point move over the course of the day. All right. Now he's only trading 100 shares. What if he was trading, you know, 500 shares? He's got his account back up to like $600 and some dollars. So he could have traded he could have traded 500 shares or 400 shares. Could have really made some good money. You can do it. You can trade a really small account and make money, but you have to accept these small gains. You have to respect your stop, and you can grow your account. It's just going to take time, you know, but in 2 weeks, he's doubled his account. You know, he got down to right at $300. And now with today, he's going to be over $700. So he's done that in about a week and a half. So it can happen. You can do it. It just takes time. You got to have the right process. You got to know, you got to have the right strategy. so you can find the right stocks that have the potential to make the moves that you can make money off of. And you gotta be able to execute that strategy. So you put all these things together. That's what the roadmap to success that I'm going through with you guys, that's what it's designed to do. But you gotta trust it. You can't fight me on it. I have people that are watching and criticizing every move I make, but they can't trade worth of shit. But they can criticize me. I laugh every time because I'm laughing putting money in my bank. And they're not. So, it's all about getting serious about this and putting forth the effort, giving it an honest effort, and you can do it. Anybody can do it. But you gotta put in the work. All right, guys. Well, that's gonna do it for me. It's late. If you guys didn't see the pictures I posted on YouTube and Twitter, me and my daughter had to put some brakes on my wife's car on the back. I don't know how you can drive with an electric parking brake on and burn the brake pads off, but evidently you can do it. So we had to take care of that, and so I'm a little bit late tonight. But you guys have a great night, great evening. Looking forward to seeing you guys in the morning.